nobody wants to talk about COVID anymore, and that's certainly understandable. This country lost so much in 2 years, it's depressing to think about it. And the instinct is just to move on. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury, and for two reasons. First, politicians are continuing to use the virus as a pretext to force their agendas on an unwilling and weary population. That's happening still, believe it or not. And second, and maybe more significantly long-term, somebody's got to rescue science from the ideologues who all of a sudden have taken it over. Science must be objective. Science must be honest. Otherwise, everything falls apart. So with that in mind, this story. In April of last year, researchers at the CDC concluded a months-long study of thousands of healthcare workers. They included first responders, nurses, physicians. The point of the study was to assess whether the COVID vaccine was working. Researchers split the healthcare workers into two groups, vaccinated and unvaccinated, and then they watched. What they found was so significant that the head of the CDC, Rochelle Walensky, went directly to MSNBC to tell the world what researchers had found. And here's what she said. This is word for word. Quote, "Our data from the CDC today suggests that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick. And that's not just in clinical trials, but also in real-world data." Now, that turned out not simply to be untrue, but in some sense to be the opposite of the truth. In some cases, the vaccinated are more likely to get variants of COVID. The death rates around the world for the vaccinated are extraordinarily high. But at the time, anyone who had doubts about what Rochelle Walensky said was told to shut up. Those who questioned her out loud were kicked off social media. If you kept questioning, you might be fired from your job. Doubting Rochelle Walensky's promises, doubting the Biden administration's claims about the COVID vaccine was totally unacceptable. It was like questioning their views on herd immunity or mandatory masking for children or airline passengers or closing the schools. Now that we know that virtually everything they said about COVID was wrong, however, no one has admitted it and no one has been punished. No one at the CDC was fired for this. In fact, they were elevated. Under Joe Biden, the people who made these claims, these false claims, have even more power than ever. Rochelle Walensky is back on television. She's demanding that parents force their children as young as 6 months old to take the COVID shot. They're all saying this. Tony Fauci, Joe Biden too. Watch.
I know many parents with very young children have been anticipating this day. Parents, I strongly encourage you to get your children vaccinated.
They do get infected and they do pass the infection. So we would hope that family members who are responsible for the children will realize that and will be enthusiastic about getting their children vaccinated.
And finally, COVID-19 vaccinations for children over 5 years of age. Finally, some peace of mind.
Amazingly, despite all of their demonstrated failures, all of their documented dishonesty, those three people are still, as of tonight, in charge of this country's response to COVID. It's remarkable if you think about it. So parents thinking about how to treat their own children are in a very tough position. One of the COVID shots that Walensky and Fauci and Biden are telling you to give your small kids is manufactured by Moderna. Now, you might recall that Moderna's COVID vaccine for adults was suspended from use in several countries after researchers found that it caused potentially very dangerous heart inflammation in young people. The other COVID vaccine that's been approved for toddlers in the United States is made by Pfizer. Pfizer's vaccine for adults has also been linked to heart damage, to myocarditis in young people. So a lot of parents are wondering, should we give this to our toddler? How do we find the answer? Virtually every news show in America seems to be sponsored by Pfizer, so clearly turning on television is not going to give you an answer you can trust. You need to find an independent, science-minded researcher or physician who's looked at the actual data. And there are very few who've done that and are willing to be honest about it. Marty Makary of Johns Hopkins University is one of them. He's just written a remarkable piece in Barry Weiss's Substack, and he wrote it with epidemiologist Tracy Hogue. Makary and Hogue found that Pfizer and Moderna provided, and we're quoting, extremely weak, inconclusive data to justify vaccinating children as young as 6 months in the United States. Quote, using a 3-dose vaccine in 992 children between the ages of 6 months and 5 years, Pfizer found no statistically significant evidence of vaccine efficacy, they wrote. In the subgroup of children aged 6 months to 2 years, the trial found that the vaccine could result in a 99% lower chance of infection, but that they also have a 370% increased chance of being infected. What does that mean? We have no idea. And we don't know how you would know because those data are completely incoherent. They do not present a picture that suggests a path forward. They're inherently confusing. Meanwhile, Moderna, quote, claimed a very weak vaccine efficacy of just 4% in children aged 6 months to 2 years. That is not a statistically significant result either. So based on those numbers, and apparently those are the underlying numbers, how could the Biden administration, how could the people who run public health in the United States of America push for the immediate vaccination of children over the ages of 6 months? We need to assess what exactly these data are and why public health agencies seem to be ignoring them.